What's going on, everybody? It's How To Tuesday, and this week we are going to test a couple of knots that really have my curiosity. My partner, Rich Tudor, and I, we have a lot of things that we do similar and many things that we do very, very different from one another. One of the things that we do different from one another is tie certain knots. He likes to tie a double uni on pretty much everything that he ties, but he does it in a way that I could never really figure out what was going on because all his knots look real fuzzy. There's like fuzzy ends on his knots, and I thought it was just because he didn't have very sharp scissors or he's cutting it with pliers and it left kind of a tag end that after a while would just kind of flare out. Well, I watched him tie, and what he does every time is he is doubling over the braid, and so he is just not a bimini, but just doubling over the braid, and then he's tying the double uni with doubled braid to fluorocarbon. The fluorocarbon is not doubled over, so single strand of fluorocarbon, double strand of braid. And I have been wondering, like, Rich has good strong knots. They are strong, but is that stronger than the way that I tie it, which is definitely a cleaner looking knot? When you go and trim the ends, I don't get that fuzzy look to it. I don't get the little tag ends of the braid flaring out and being kind of fuzzy. So we tied several of the single strand uni to uni, double uni knots, and several of the double line double uni knots and tested them out, and here's what we found. So I didn't want the results to be this, but the double line outperformed the single line. And so I learned something, that step actually makes a little bit of difference. Now, both of these knots tested a little bit better than some of the other ones that we did at using 20-pound braid to 40-pound fluorocarbon. We're using J braid by Daiwa to J fluoro by Daiwa, 20-pound braid to 40-pound fluorocarbon. So the breaking strength of the line should be somewhere in that 20-pound range. That's what we're looking for. We've had some knots that will test over the breaking strength and some knots that test way, way under the breaking strength. These both came in at pretty good. The doubled over double uni, the one that Rich ties, tests 15.3 pounds on average, and the single strand that I'm tying tests 14.92, so right at 15. So really, the doubled over line, does it make a difference? It seems to. It seems to make a little difference in the strength of the knot. Now, if we tied a bimini there and then tied it, it would not surprise me at all that knot would be way, way stronger. But what we're doing is just doubling the line over and tying the double uni knot, and as opposed to a single strand going through and tying a double uni knot. When we doubled the line over, it actually made it a little bit stronger, 15.3 to 14.92. That is the results, not what I thought would happen. I really thought the other one would be stronger. So that's what we're doing here. We're controlling the controllable. We're understanding our tackle. We're understanding our knots so that we can all make the best choice on our rigs for that situation. We'll pick the best knot that we know, the strongest knot, so that we can catch the fish that we want to. And that's what you do. That's how a good angler performs. They control the controllable and put all of those factors that they can control in their favor. And that's how you become a better fisherman. That's one way you become a better fisherman. All right, that's How To Tuesday for this week. We'll talk to you next week. See ya.